Hopefully, as time goes on, we'll come to some resolution that is more acceptable to the community.
More feasible to the county.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one question here I got from a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And this woman asked me, whatever happened to the repairing of the driveway aprons, she said.
Oh, okay.
It seems as if 2 or 3 driveways were done, and then there's been a lot of fighting among the neighbors because everybody wants theirs done.
Well,
so how do we appease this? How do we fix them up?
Well, one thing I learned, Abraham Lincoln was right. You can't make all the people happy all the time.
No, you can't.
What we've tried to do is go through on a priority basis and look at where curbs are cracking or where the streets are damaged or where these aprons have broken or whatever. And we're trying to do the worst ones first. And we'll try to do a neighborhood at a time. But I mean, some of them are in still fairly decent shape, and some of them are in terrible shape. So it made sense that we prioritize the work, and that's what happened. And the sad part about that is, you know, home A will get a new apron, and the next 2 homes, which have adequate aprons, they say, well, they got a new one, I want a new one.
Exactly.
And we will eventually get to them. It's just a matter of dealing with the priorities.
Have you thought of leaving a little note? We've done your neighbors, but we're going to get to you when you need it.
That's probably a wise thing.
That's a wise thing to do, okay?
But that's just the outreach the city does. I mean, you know, if you go to the other cities and towns across the state, the level of services that the city provides versus what other cities and what the counties do, it's just amazing. You know, when we have people come here visiting us from other cities, they're amazed at the not only the volume of services the city provides, but the quality of the services.
Do we get a tax differential from our county for the city police that we have
Yes,
working?
we do.
We do?
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, this year, when we started talking at the beginning, we got a reduction in our county tax assessment of like 4.2 cents
That's
this year.
wonderful.
And by, like I say, by holding the city's tax rate flat, our combined tax rate now is the lowest it's been since 2003.
And what is it now?
I think the city's tax rate is 38 cents and the county's like 89 or 90 cents. So when you combine the two, so you know, everybody complains we spend too much money and we're all opposed to taxes. But you know, if you like the trash picked up, if you like the parks, if you like them clean, and you know, if you like, for the county provides schools and things like that.
I understand.
So it's a matter of just paying for the services.
Okay, I've had several neighbors come to me and ask me, do you think the police department as well as the county fire department is making their responses the way they should?
I think, well, the city police department has made incredible strides in reducing response time and in being just presence. The challenge we had from the county was the men and women in District 2 are outstanding people. We've never doubted their professionalism or their commitment. The problem was, because the way the county assigns its resources based on violent crime and all that, by us being a relatively safe community, we had a maximum on any given day of maybe 4 officers assigned to the city of Bowie.
Right.
That assumes that none of them were sick, none of them were on leave, none of them were writing an accident report, none of them were in court. So we concluded that our future would be enhanced by moving in the direction of splitting off and having our own police department. We took that idea to the community and we said, this is what we want to do, this is how we propose doing it, this is what it's going to cost us collectively, and this is what it'll cost you.
And 2 years ago is when we got it, what, 70%, 72% of voters voted for it?
It did, they did. And I think when people looked at it objectively and said, yes, depending on the value of your home, it costs you $100 to $200 a year, but is it worth that sense of security, having the police presence? Like I say, the response to emergency calls has dropped from like 11 or 12 minutes to 5 or 6 minutes.
Okay.
The routine calls for service have dropped from 20 or 30 minutes to 6 or 8 minutes.
Right.
So we're having more officers on the street. The sense of security, I think, has gone up. The ability to respond to a call with a professional law enforcement officer has gone up. And I think the people's acceptance of the cost of that has been borne out as the years gone by. And it's like everything, every new project you have, we've had some bumps along the road. But I think the wisest thing we did was when we hired Chief Perez. She's turned out to be everything we expected plus.
I still love to get her on this show. I would.
You should.
I've asked so many times and I've never gotten a reply.
I'm sure. Well,
you talk to her for me, Mayor Robinson.
I'll put in a word for you.
Okay.
But let me tell you, this woman has done a great. When we hired her, I sat down with her and I said, look, I'm an old school guy. I'm not going to tell you who to hire. I'm not going to tell you who to fire. I'm not going to tell you how to allocate your people.
In other words, you're not going to be her boss.
All I'm telling you is that we're only holding one person accountable for success, and that's you.
That's cool.
And so, and I think that's the way a professional wants to be treated. And she has done an incredible job, and I'm very impressed with her. I'm impressed with the staff that she's collected, she's put together, and I think the city's better off now than we were.
Can you tell me if there's any legislation pending so that Bowie may be provided with the tax differential from park and planning?
Oh, no, whoever gave you that question is right on the ball. One of the concerns we've had.
Maybe I thought of this myself.
Well, okay, well then you too. That's it. Well, then you're on the ball. One of the challenges we've had over the years is we, and I, I'm as loud a critic of this as anyone, we send an awful lot of money every year to park and planning in form of taxes.
Okay.
The return on that investment has never been anywhere approaching equity or equality or relationship between in-go and out-go. We have tried over the years to improve that balance, and we're making some progress. A year or so ago, we had a bill put in that would use the same template we used for the county services on the park and planning. We were not successful. We're looking at
what was your plan?
It would say that the park and planning would have to compute the amount of money that the city invests in recreation and deduct that from the amount of money that we would pay to the county. So our taxes to the county would actually be reduced, which is what they should do. Actually, if you go back and look at your total tax bill, you're paying park and planning tax commission almost as much as you're paying the city.
Yes, I am. Mine went up again.
And if you look at what you get for your city tax versus what you get for your park and planning taxes, there's no comparison.
No.
And they do a good job across the county, but we just don't think, I don't think, that we've gotten a fair and equitable treatment.
You haven't gotten a fair shake?
No. And then, of course, the other side of that equation with the commission deals with land use and development and planning. And there is a matter that I and others have been critical about for a long time. The city of Bowie is sufficiently skilled and professional and sophisticated enough to be making land use decisions ourselves. I think we're way beyond the condition where we should be playing Mother May I with a group of bureaucrats in the county planning department, or the county council for that matter, in terms of deciding whether a proposal fits the overall zoning plan, whether it fits the master plan, and whether its development will complement or overwhelm the community's ability to provide services. And I'll tell you a category, if Bowie were in any county other than Prince George's, we'd have that authority today. We would? Yeah. Think about it. Bowie is by population larger than 8 of Maryland's counties. Every municipality our size across the state has independent land use decision-making authority now. And we don't have that. We do not have that. Why not? It is a tradition in Prince George's that the county council holds this authority unto themselves. And this is like, that character in Greek mythology, the Sisyphus that keeps pushing that boulder up to the top. Every time we start making progress, somebody up there pushes the boulder back down on top of us. I'm hopeful that sometime that we'll come to a meeting of the minds. The current county council is adamantly opposed to even discussing an increase in the authority for the city. There have been recently some indications that they might be willing to consider some marginal deferrals to us, but that still remains to be seen. Okay, can you tell me a little bit about Bowie's University plans to put student housing and businesses on their property? Won't this cause a lot of problems with the police department? And I was shocked when I was given this question to ask you. Well, Bowie State University is an incredible place. And it's huge. I've been there. Yeah, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. The freshman class this year, I think, is as big as it's ever been. Yes. One of the things the university is trying to Dr. Burnham and I have had a number of conversations. He's met with the council. I've met him. He's very nice. He is. Nice. He's a very nice man. And he's a man with vision. He wants to take the university well in advance into the next century. But what they're going to have to do is they need some additional on-campus housing. They need to expand some of the operating facilities on there. And they own some property that abuts the university that may have some potential for economic development that could bring some additional funding to the university.
Where
And
are they going to get these fundings from, the money?
well, presumably the development itself, the development of the commercial could offset the cost of some of the thing. Plus, it's a state-funded organization.
But there's not
obviously.
that much room out there, Mayor Robinson. I've been out there. I mean, that place is chock full of just
Well, it is
dorms.
now, but
Yeah.
they own about 300 acres that
More?
is undeveloped. That abuts the city.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they own substantial undeveloped acreage that's adjacent to it.